Greetings and welcome to a special edition of Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. I'm your host of Hankh Rising Sun, Hankh Rising Sun. This is going to be a special promotion for our brother Rich, a major gatekeeper of social media events, him and brother Kambada, who's a famous hip-hop artist, rap artist, conscious artist, are going to be on the show tonight. So I want to thank you for being a part of the live listening audience or in the recordings. Thank you for being a part of this show. As always, in the beginning of the show, I say to you, thank you for being born. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for experiencing and surviving the airport adolescence of your youth, the formative years of your youth. Because we, for the most part, our beliefs, our aspirations, our inner fortitude is made or bent in our formative years up to the age of 7 or even 14. So I am in me. I am in you, the listening audience. I am in the sea of life. In the name of love, we're going to call upon our ascended master, ghost army of enlightened beings to be a part of this digital reality. So we call in the name of love, Yahshua, Mother Mary, Enoch, Melchizedek, Black Madonna, call on Keteru, Aset, call upon Elegba, Oshun, goddess of love, known in many tongues as Ruler, Diana, Lakshmi. We call upon Oya, Shango, Ogun, Ochosi, Ologun, Obatala. We call on Chief Geronimo, Chief Osceola. We call on Harriet Tubman. Call upon our uncle George Washington Carver. Calling upon Crazy Horse Sitting Bull, Nat Turner, John Brown, Malcolm, Marcus Garvey, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, calling upon Imhotep, Ptahotep, calling upon Buddha, Krishna, Saint Germain, Nikolai Tesla, call on Townsend Brown, who shared anti-gravity. We're talking about Wilhelm Reich with Orgone. We invite you to be on this show. Call upon Quetzalcoatl. Call upon all the ascended masters. Shakamadou Bamba, Shaki Bafal, Simeon Toko. Call upon all our ascended master ancestors to be with us tonight. So, all you have to do now is bring them in. We're going to bring on Brother Rich. Brother Rich is world famous. Black Magic on YouTube, Black Magic 363, Brother Rich channel. He's doing amazing works. He does amazing interviews with profound specialists, genius artists on his platform that is larger than, I believe, about 500,000 people, subscribers, and who knows how many millions of downloads. So without further ado, let's bring on Brother Rich. Brother Rich, welcome to the show.
Peace. What's going on, Brother Hank? You can hear me?
Hey, yes, man, we can hear you nice, loud and clear, brother. Welcome to my humble presence on Blog Talk Radio. And I tried to create a visual impression of what I got from that short music clip that literally I called acoustic psychedelics. And it was quite incredible, family. He had some music that he shared with me, a small clip, and I actually started seeing colors. I started seeing galaxies. I started seeing being at the shores of the beach on a tropical day. What's going on, Brother Rich? You done went knee deep like the Funkadelics into psychedelics with sound? Tell us what's happening, man.
You know, it's funny you call it acoustic psychedelics. Cambada calls it. That's my music partner right there. I produce the music, and he's actually the lyricist. He's the one that pens the lyrics to it, but he calls it digital THC. So we got to understand. I don't think we really understand how powerful music is, and that's why the powers that be, they know, and that's why they constantly want to manipulate it. I remember Bobby Hemmett used to say back in the day about how when music was in the love frequency with Luther Vandross and other artists, they knew that they would eventually have to take it away from that love frequency, because that's not the frequency that they wanted to vibrate or resonate with the masses. So, music is powerful. Some people know, some people don't know, but it's time that we all become aware of the power of music.
Yes, absolutely. I was looking over the videos because I had to find clips, so I can form the flyer, and you invoke some almost like genetic memory in your album Shaka Zulu. Tell us about that, please.
Man, well, everything I do musically, nothing is forced. It's not like it's intention. It's not like that. We're like me and Cambada go in there. We're like, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that and we're gonna do this. I go with the flow, and I let it's like I go where the wave leads me. So when I was making the beat, I didn't know the beat was gonna come out like that. Cambada didn't know he was gonna say them lyrics. But when you follow your heart chakra, it'll take you to the right destination. The heart chakra will take you to the right destination. The heart is actually the first organ that's formed when you come into this realm of existence. When you come down the planes of existence, the heart is the first organ that's actually formed, and it's the most important organ. It actually has more neurons in the brain, which we aren't aware of, we weren't taught. But you can speak to your heart, and I advise us to talk to our heart every day, and our heart will give us answers if we actually see. One thing we don't do is that we don't talk to our body. We don't talk to our kidney, our lungs, our heart. This is, we have millions and billions of cells in us. We can actually talk to our body, and our body will hear us and respond and communicate back to us. So if you get in the habit of talking to your heart, and your heart will lead you in the right direction. And that's what I pretty much do with my music, Hank.
Wow, that's beautiful, because when you speak of the heart, I've been just working with the crystals, like how do you activate crystals so that, we can benefit, we can thrive. And going into my heart space, family, Brother Rich, I get the answers. It's the same reason I gave up my electric bikes, man. Because my heart literally told me, look, I'm not getting enough workout. You've been riding your bicycle since you was like, 4. And from a tricycle onto a 10-speed. I'm not getting any cardio I'm not getting the exercise. And I could feel my heart was like getting soft. And I actually gave up the electric bikes for getting back to the old school 10-speed, which I'm riding now. Got my little skinny 700 series tires. But the heart is absolutely the place of enlightenment. Many people think that third eye activation is enlightenment. It's the heart chakra has an eye. So, yeah, you're right on point with that, Brother Rich. Tell us about what, like that title. That title rocked me, man. When I text you and said, okay, what do you want to call this show tonight? Darkness, meditation, and the realm of rulership. let's take that segment. What is darkness? And is there any science or magic to darkness, Brother Rich?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, Hank. Man, I'm glad you asked that. Darkness gets such a bad reputation by some of the most so-called advanced spiritualists on the planet. You gotta understand. Let me just say this: the era that we look up to most of the time, or the dynasties that we look up to, or the history that we read and study that we think were so advanced, that was actually us in our fallen state. So we think just because we read texts from ancient Kemet, or text from this source or that source, or this person or that person, that, oh shit, okay, this is it. But that was actually us in the fallen state. By the time Egypt had the dynastic period, Bobby Hemmett told us many years ago that we was in a decline. We was in the fall then. We were so great then, and we're so fallen now that appears to be so great, which it was. If you're looking at it from a relative standpoint, that period compared to this period, they were magnificent. But if we're looking at it from a relative standpoint, that period compared to when we was in our prime, it wasn't that great. So you see how greatness changes based on perception and how you view it and what you compare it to. So with that being said, darkness got a bad reputation in our prime, in our most pristine state. We understood the importance of darkness, and they drop it in certain movies, and they hide it to the most. Just look at the people who hold the most power in terms of finances, in terms of economics, in terms of global power on this earth. They wear all black every day, all day. They wear all black. Their hat looks like the shape of Saturn, and I'm talking about the people who call themselves the Jews. Their hat looks like the ring of Saturn. It could be 100 degrees outside, right? And they wearing all black. So they tell us, it's the Jedi mind trick. They tell us one thing, we don't do it, but then they do it. You know what I'm saying? So black is very important. And when I understood, without anybody telling me anything, it's common sense. When you want to really tap in, when you really want to get answers, you close your eyes. You meditate, you go into the darkness. Anytime you want to get answers, you go into the darkness. You come from the darkness. You come from the dark womb. There's something good about darkness. You know what I'm saying? That they're not telling us. There's something good about it. But, we have to be re-educated. We have centuries of indoctrination. But if we're going to get into meditation extensively tonight. But when you meditate, it's all about darkness. And from the darkness, you create light within your darkness. So, we'll get into that tonight.
Yeah, I want to share with the audience. Back when I was doing massages, a lot of massages, I noticed that and most of the clients, brothers would only come for a massage from a man when they're in pain. Women, they would come for stress relief, just to tap, back into their bodies. I see a lot of parallels between women and kitty cats. There's so many similarities. But the point I was bringing across was that I noticed while massaging our darker hue sisters, I could actually sense the energy, the electromagnetism. And then when I would massage the less melanated people, or so-called light-skinned folks, I noticed they had less voltage. And it came upon one point that I had one of the European clients actually ask for magnetic wrist bracelets, ankle bracelets, waist beads, all made with magnets, and a necklace. She came back 2 weeks later, and her voltage was like a dark-skinned sister who was eating correctly and having a healthy lifestyle. The next thing I want to say is darkness came up in my ayahuasca meditations years ago, where I had a vision in the ayahuasca that I actually saw blue-black, carbon-black beings, like highly evolved beings, actually like ruling galaxies. And I want to give a special acknowledgement to the entheogenic my theogenic big brothers, Master Kalindi. I got to give him a special shout out. I want to give a special shout out to all those who embrace the entheogens, because the blackness. I'm working with crystals right now, and Brother Rich, when I did the pipe medicine, it said work with the black crystals. They have more power. So I want to give an acknowledgement to Lester Loving, because he told me about black tourmaline, onyx, obsidian.
Right.
These crystals have more potency. So I want to, in absolute agreement, in the darkness, we are formed in darkness. We have a limited spectrum of light. So the title, next word is meditation. Darkness, meditation. Share with us, Rich, about the meditation aspect of your title.
Man, so meditation, and this is why I make the meditational music. Meditation should be one of the most important things in our community for the next century, for this next paradigm, or whatever you want to call it, the next couple of years or whatever. But meditation is something that, we very much so take for granted. And let me just say this before I say that. A lot of spiritualists will get mad at, let's say, the Bobby Hemmitts or the Phil Valentines or whoever for mentioning race, because they will say race is an illusion. So one of the things I want to say is that there's a Black New Age movement that's happening. I'm very, very much proud of. I was there when Bobby Hemmett was talking about the so-called New Age information decades ago. I'm in my mid-30s, and when I was 19, I remember when Bobby was talking about it. So I'm glad that it's becoming a movement right now, and it's growing more and more and more. And I think that it's necessary for us to not be fixated on race, but to mention race in our teaching sometimes, because it's part of the mythos, it's part of the story. And you got to understand, there's a certain group of people that have a certain pathology because of a certain experience. We can't just ignore that certain experience and expect that group of people to be on the same level as another group of people. There's a group of people that we call Black people, whether you want to agree with that name or not, that need a certain type of teaching to elevate them. You got to talk to them a certain type of way because they've been through something different. You can't just completely ignore what we've been through, and that's what they want to do. They want to just ignore it. That shit don't work, Hank. That shit don't work. We've been through some shit, brother. And I'm talking about recent. Nigga, my grandmother was alive during segregation. They want you to think that this shit happened so many centuries ago. And one thing I understand is that at one time, pretty much everybody's been enslaved. White people, the name slave comes from Slav. That's cool. What I'm talking about is a recent form of discrimination has affected a certain group of people that we have post-traumatic slavery syndrome. We have to be taught to differently from other groups. So, no, we're not fixated on color when we mention race. Some of us are, but some of us aren't. But what we understand is that it takes a different kind of teaching to wake us up. And just completely ignoring our past ain't the solution. Let me move on to meditation. So, with that being said, meditation is something that this group of people that I'm talking about, who suffers from post-traumatic slavery syndrome, we frown upon that more than any other group because we've been through so much. We look at that like, shit, that's the last thing I should be thinking about. But you know what, Hank? That's the first thing we should be thinking about. You know why, Hank? Because our number one goal in life, if we know who we truly are, should be receptivity to our higher self. Why should our number one goal should be receptivity to our higher self? Because we're multidimensional beings. Let me give you an analogy. If we are, and let me just say this before I give the analogy. Once we understand our current technology, and we understand it's emulating our spiritual technology, it allows us to truly understand how to tap into our spiritual technology. So, let's say you're driving from New York to Virginia. Let's just say you drive from New York to New Jersey. You got it on a radio station. You got it on a 97.1. And, when you're in New York, the signal is clear. and you're jamming in the car, Hank. You with your girl, you with your family, all of y'all jamming, singing in the car. The further away you get from the broadcast tower, the more static you hear. And you know what? Immediately, everybody picks up on the static. Everybody says, oh, shit, the static, the static, the static. Eventually, the static, the further away you get from that broadcast tower, the static gets so great that people get frustrated. They're like, it becomes noise. It turns from music to noise. And somebody in the car says, turn that off. Then everybody says, turn it off. So if you don't turn it off, you know what happens? You'll get frustrated, annoyed, aggravated. Eventually, you'll get sick and depressed, and you wouldn't know. You wouldn't even be able to drive anymore. So the problem with our life is that we've been listening to the static in our minds for so long, we don't know who we are. We got away from our broadcast tower. Our broadcast tower is our higher selves. Our way to stay connected to that broadcast tower is through meditation, through solitude. That's how we continue to hear the music. Once we get away from that broadcast tower, we hear the noise. But we're so used to the noise, we think it's normal. It's not normal. That stress, that dis-ease, that anxiety, that shit is not normal. That is us getting away from our broadcast tower. Our broadcast tower is our higher self. What we got to understand is that we are not the body. This is our light body vehicle. Our consciousness is non-local awareness. We are broadcasting from somewhere else here to experience a space-time reality. We have to stay connected to that broadcast tower in order to continuously hear the music and the beauty of life. And that's what meditation is about. Our meditation is about connecting to that broadcasting tower, our higher self, so we can hear the music of life. That's what it's all about, Hank.
I like the way you put that. I want to share with the family. I took, back in the 80s, I took up a course called SILVA, SILVA, Mind Control Method. You can find this on YouTube. You can also do a search on the internet. Brother Rich, in this class, they took us into states called alpha that allowed us to create or access an inner realm. Now I look back on it, I think any state outside of the beta monkey mind is a form of a psychedelic state. From alpha, the next state is theta, I think the next state is delta. Yeah. But the course, everyone graduated, but the test was giving a name of a stranger, and we all cued in on who this person was, gave their basic personality and their physical health. And this is somebody we've never met before, because on the inner realms of meditation, you have access to the sea of life. And then if you deal with, dealing with entheogens from mushrooms, I want to acknowledge Baba Awolowo. I want to acknowledge him in this show. I want to acknowledge the brother Dimitri, a blue-eyed soul brother who's into Igbo, African psychedelics. Because, Brother Rich, our Western mind has to be cracked. And the beginning of that releasing of the Western mind, the fears, the traumas, is meditation. So I salute you with this title, Darkness, Meditation, and the realm of rulership.
Hank, man, when I say the realm of rulership, you got to understand, when you're in the realm of imagination, which is the only reality, it's the only reality. You got to understand, what we see as reality, by the time we see something with our eyes, first of all, let me say this. We're not seeing reality. We are projecting reality. First of all, it's the English language, our language is such a lockdown language. It's so confusing that even when we study ancient history, our language locks us away from tapping into it. So when we imagine shit, we think we crazy. Because we like, I imagine that, but damn, nah. According to this word and this verb and this noun and this pronoun and this adjective, that can't be achieved, or the language locks us down. If we understand that, first of all, we don't even see. Outside of us is nothing but waves and frequencies. There's no particles outside of us. reality is formed inside of us. It goes from the waveform state to the particle state. The brain decodes waveforms and turns it into digital information. Let me read something real quick. Let me see if I have this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I had this. I got something there. I had something real good. I had something real good. I ain't got it right now.
Alpha state, from what I remember when I took the course, the weakest state of mind is in the mind state of fear, and that's the beta mind, and that's I think it's 14 to 28 brainwave cycles a second. Alpha is 7 to 14 cycles. That's when you're first waking up in the morning or just before you go to sleep at night. Theta is from 4 to 7 cycles, if I'm correct, and Delta is 0 to 3. And that's what in the Bible they say you have to be like a child again to enter into the kingdom of heaven that's in our hearts. The Delta state is what we are in when we're children, and Theta that's the magical states of awareness that we are in. So all the young mothers who have their newborns, your children are in Delta state. They're in the state of enlightenment. They're in the state of Theta. So you have to be careful about what you say, not only during the time that you was carrying the child, but also in their first 7 years of life, because they totally record everything that you say, even in your love or your frustration. Brother Rich, did you find it?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay. No, I found it. Give me one more second.
Yeah, so I'll just touch on it. So going into learning how to go calm down and literally go into states of trance, like through the silver mind control method, you can cultivate and build on that by introducing into microdosing shrooms, microdosing ayahuasca, microdosing ibogaine, microdosing bufo, microdosing even tobacco to enhance. All these are trans herbs from nature to get you out of your monkey mind. Because your monkey mind is the weakest state of mind. Only thing that pulls a monkey mind as you're walking down the street is music. And that's why it is so powerful. When I listened to the track that Brother Rich shared with me, which inspired this show, I actually went into a psychedelic state. Go ahead, brother.
Let me just tell them what my plans is, because I got something I want to read. I took some notes from David Icke's book, and he had a couple of real good chapters. I'm not too heavy into the conspiracy. David Icke, he dropped some shit sometime. They say don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just because we don't agree with everything somebody says doesn't mean we should completely disregard them. And David Icke has some magnificent chapters about how this reality is created, and I took some notes on it, so I want to read that. But let me say first, before I say that, in terms of the meditation, I just, let me say that after. Let me read this, and then we'll have a whole segment on as far as the music and the meditation. But let me read this first. All right, so this, I took some notes from his book. I think this is called, forgot the name of the book. My brother Red Pill stole the book from me when he had the last lecture at the conference, the 2020 Ascension. I lent it to him and I forgot to get it back, so I forgot the name of it. I wish I had it in front of me. But these are some notes I took that was on the side, family. Listen to this. This is important. This is just some notes I took. When people talk about the subconscious or going within, they are talking about the vibrational waveform level of reality from which all form and things are decoded into manifestation. The subconscious connects us to the information matrix of the universe. Our reality is very similar to the wireless internet. From the moment we are born, we go online. We are receiving information from the invisible web and adding our own information and perceptions to that collective mind. DNA, with its crystalline structure, is a powerful receiver, transmitter, and amplifier of frequencies of light that connects us to the cosmic internet. The brain body is basically a liquid crystal. when massively magnified, listen to this, when massively magnified, you can see the crystalline nature of the blood. The more you magnify it, it becomes quartz crystal, clean as day, clear as day. Quartz crystal, which is used in our computers, has the ability to generate a fixed frequency and convert vibration into an electrical signal, and that's just what our five senses do. They decode information from our vibrational wave states and transmit it to the brain as electrical signal. So what do they decode from? They say when I said they decode information from vibrational wave states. So what is your vibrational wave state? Well, when you meet somebody and you talk to them, and they be like, yo, he had a bad vibe. Yo, you got a good vibe. What was your? Let me ask everybody listening. What was your vibe today, my nigga? My nigga. Let me say nigga. What was your vibe today? Whatever your vibe today was, your brain is decoding that vibe, and it's going to transmit it to the brain as electrical signal. You want to know what happens then, Hank? Well, then the brain itself, made up of crystalline cells, decodes the information into an apparently three-dimensional world that appears to be on the outside of us, but really only exists in that form inside our brains. So your vibe, my nigga, gets decoded by your brain into electrical signals, and it creates Hollywood. It creates the best movie you ever seen, the greatest show on earth you called life. That's what your brain does. I mean, this shit is so real. It's so CGI. It's so it's so what's that word?
Holographic?
Not holographic. Immersive. It's so immersive that we really think we're here. I really think I'm talking to me in my mind. It's immersive. This reality is extremely immersive, and that's what the brain does. It takes your vibe, my nigga, and it converts it into electrical signals into this immersive experience that we really think we're a part of. Why do you think they work so hard on controlling your vibe, Hank? With commercials, with advertisers. Every day of our life, somebody's trying to sell us perceptions. Hey, black women ain't shit. Hey, niggas ain't shit. Hey, the world is polluted. Hey, this, hey, that. Hey, money don't grow on trees, man. Hey, man, well, we only live once. All of these are perceptions that are being sold to us to affect our vibe. Once it affects our vibe, our brain decodes that vibe, and it creates this illusionary Maya world we see around. I think ancestors call it Maya. But let me just read a little more.
Please do.
Yeah, that was deep. It is the same principle. What I just talked about is the same principle as television programs on the screen or the internet on the computer screen. The brain decodes information, transforms it into digital information, and it's the left side of the brain that reads that into a world that we think we see. We don't see with our eyes, family. We see with the decoding system of our brain. I was talking to Seven Beaumont. We was talking about how the brain is encased in darkness. And the brain is encased in darkness, and the brain is just sitting there like, I can't see nothing. I don't know what's going on. What the hell's going on? You know who tells the brain what the hell's going on? Our vibe. So we see once our vibe via neuropeptides, the heart from neuropeptides tells the brain via neuropeptides, okay, this is what's going on. The brain says, okay, cool. Ooh, that vibe is going on? Okay. Well, let me see. Let me give you an example, Hank. So let's say you imagining freedom, right? No, let's say you imagine anxiety, right? Let's say your vibe is anxiety for the day. And you just, it's a strong vibe that's been over your body for 5 months. Your brain is saying, damn, this is a strong vibe. All right, I'm going to create a neural network. Your brain creates this huge neural network that's going to produce this apparently three-dimensional structure that's going to create anxiety. So this anxiety that exists inside of you, your brain takes that, and your brain is very divisive. It takes that, and it turns that vibe that's only inside of you and it separates it. It separates it into people, places, and things. So it gives you a girlfriend that produces anxiety. It gives you a police officer that produces anxiety. And it produces a job that produces anxiety. So now you got all these so-called external objects producing anxiety that you think is external, but you know what? It all came internal from your vibe. But your brain is just decoding it. So you think you're seeing this and you think this is a reality, but it ain't reality. It's just being decoded from your internal awareness. This is why Neville Goddard, who taught Reverend Ike, he taught Reverend Ike, and Neville Goddard
yes, he did.
Neville Goddard learned from a black Hebrew Israelite. I think his name was Ahmed, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, so I don't want to chop it up. But he has a book called The Power of Awareness. Your awareness, which is your vibe, sends the code to the brain, and your brain decodes that, and it gives you this realm. This is why they say we create our own reality. This is why. This is why. It's a whole system, a whole process that's happening that we aren't aware of.
Brother Rich,
yeah.
You are one of the most prolific YouTube channels that I have come across on YouTube, with the most thought-provoking interviews and controversial individuals. How did you get started with that? I just want to ask you, what drew you into media?
Hey, remember what I said in the beginning. Our number one goal should be receptivity. I listen. I was just always intuitive. I was just born with the gift to be intuitive. I always been intuitive, so it may have been easier for me than other people. But I always just been extremely intuitive and just being receptive to my inner messages. And your inner voice tells you things. And I kept getting the hunch that, I think I could be good at interviewing people. And I remember I told Bobby Hemmett that one day. And he was just like, well, he didn't know me from a hole in the wall at that time. I was super young. I might have been like 20 years old when I told him that, and I called him. I wasn't Brother Rich. Nobody knew me as anything. I was just, a customer. I was coming by buying tapes from my brother named Big Man in Harlem, and I called him. But Bobby Hemmett gave his number at the end of the video, and I called and I told him. So he was like, yeah, man, okay, that's cool. But I just kept getting the hunch. I kept getting the hunch that, I think I could be good at interviews, and I followed that. And, just following your intuition. One day I decided that I wanted to be a part of the community and sell VHS tapes and do lectures. And that event, one thing leads to the other. That eventually led to me doing interviews, Delbert Blair. I got classic interviews. So, just one thing led to the other. But all praise is due to the field, what I call the field. I'm a field nigga. I tap into that field. I'm a true field nigga. I tap into that field. That field contains everything, man. It contains everything. It contains that's where the Akashic records lie. I'm a field nigga. I tap into that field, Hank. So the questions that I ask, the decisions that I do, it all comes from the field. You got to understand. Memory is not local. Consciousness is not local. The brain is an antenna. We tap into that field, that vacuum. We tap into that vacuum to get this information. We tap into that vacuum to recall memory again and again and again. And that's how we get our ideas. We don't create anything. Everything that can be created is already in existence. It's already there. We tap into a field and we bring it to this realm. Michael Jackson talked about that. Michael Jackson said, I feel as though I don't even write these songs. They're already there. And he said it much more articulately, and I'm not trying to make fun of him, but I appreciate his uniqueness, because our uniqueness is frowned upon. But that's how he sounds. Michael Jackson. So that's what he said. He said, I feel like I don't even write these songs. They're just there, and I'm somehow able to tap into them. It is what it is. Our number one goal, Hank, should be receptivity, Hank. How do we tap into that? One of the main ways is meditation. And the beautiful thing about this meditation album I'm coming out with, Hank, is that it's not just sitting down, lotus position meditation. It's walking meditation music as well. So meditation shouldn't just be sitting down still in your living room. That's an aspect of meditation. But we should meditate in every aspect of our lives, and that's how we be in this world and not of it. Woo, that's powerful.
Exactly.
Listen now, we have to be in this world and not of it. How do we do that? Why do you think the Buddhists or the Tibetans, they got their beads, right? And they be rubbing on their beads and shit, and they be counting their beads while they walking. They be in this world but not of it. They're still recognizing their divinity, walking through the jungles or walking through the concrete jungles. There has to be something that reminds us of who we are, even while we're walking through the concrete jungle, because it's such overstimulation. So many times in my life where Hank, I'm the most powerful deity in the face of the universe when I meditate. But I get out in the real world and I just fall. Because, why do I fall? Because of the overstimulation, and I get caught up in it. And I think that this is really happening. Or I think that this is external from me, when it's really just being decoded from my internal awareness. So, in order to combat that, there has to be something that reminds us of who we are constantly. Some people wear beads. There's different things. Some people put on their headphones and listen to music. Some people have pictures. Some people have tattoos. We do it in different ways, but you have to be in this world but not of it. And how do you do that? One of the best ways to do that is music. Go ahead, my brother.
Music and having on your crystals. And I'm going to share this. Brother Rich, I haven't spoken about this much, but I noticed brothers need to have the crystals on their chest over their heart, because energetically our hearts are more passive, whereas women, their hearts are more, for lack of a better term, active or masculine. And women need to have a crystal over their waistline so that they can filter the negativity from electronic pollution. Women need to have
from their womb, the filter from their
womb and their yoni. Because a lot of times when women go ballistic, it's because of either the energy that they're picking up through their yoni or their womb, or it's still echoing from somebody else's spirit energy that has been left in the woman's yoni or in the woman's womb. And the way you transmute that energy is having a crystal and listening to the correct music. Because music, sound, word activates crystals. That's why I think what you're doing, when I listen to that music track and it put me in the zone, I was like, okay, he's on to something here. You know, because imagine if you have a whole album of acoustical psychedelic tracks that have people remember from their DNA that they are gods having a human experience. So music is crucial. That's the cornerstone, because everything is made of sound. How does your son like that track, brother?
Oh, he loves it. He loves it. He loves it. He loves it. But I'm gonna tell you, children, they want something more upbeat. They want to really move. That, because they're already in that state naturally, so they want to really, really, really move. You know, as children come out, they dance immediately. You know why they dance?
Yeah.
Because our DNA is, everything is in vibration. Nothing is in at rest. So our cells are dancing constantly inside of us. Constantly. Children, they dance all day, every day. They constantly want to, if you want to teach them anything, put it in musical form. Baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark. Mommy shark do 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 do, mommy. Yo, they go crazy. Daddy shark do 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 do, daddy. Grandma shark do 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 do. Listen, they want to move because they come from the realm of sound, of music. So they're like, oh shit, they dancing constantly. They come here, they're like, why everybody so still? They like, why are you niggas so still? I want to dance. And they start dancing. We like, well, okay, let's play some music for them. Maybe they like, here, little Tyrone, play a little music for Tyrone. Tyrone come from that realm of music. We have to stop looking down on music. Music is the most advanced form of spirituality in existence. If our language was more musical, we would be more advanced. In our most advanced form, language was poetic. Well, first of all, in our most advanced form, we didn't even speak. That's whole nother topic. You know, we was telepathic. But once we spoke, it was poetic. It was very poetic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. The babies love music. They want to move. They want to dance. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I can't say it enough that our number one goal should be receptivity. I know everybody's number one goal is there's a law of attraction, and we want to manifest things, and we're constantly thinking about manifesting things. But we're thinking about manifesting things from our brain. And what I'm saying is that with meditation, you should be receptive during meditation. You should listen. That's the point of meditation. You should listen. Quiet your mind. Just count your breaths. You should listen. The number one goal should be receptivity. The brain is just an antenna. The body we're liquid crystals. Why do you think crystals work so good? We are liquid crystals. They say we're like 75%. I think we're more. We're probably like 95% water. We're all fucking water, family. Part of the so-called what we call language. First of all, we need to drink a gallon of water a day. That's first of all. We need to drink much more water than they tell us to drink. That's first of all. Secondly, we need to meditate and be receptive. Once we're receptive, we are connected. The whole, like Hank said earlier, the whole universe is connected. Listen, I could think about the brother, right? Since we're all connected, I could think about the brother. And within 30 seconds, the brother will call me. We're connected via wormholes. These wormholes, we're connected. Distance is an illusion. A person could be somewhere on Jupiter. Your ancestors, maybe they're on Jupiter. I don't know where they at. I don't know where they at, but I know I'm connected to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm connected to them. I'm not worried about distance. I'm connected to my mother. My mother's transitioned. My father has transitioned. I have no parents in this realm. But you know what I know? Yes. But you know what I know? I know I'm still connected. I felt my father was connected. My father was killed 3 weeks before I was born. For whatever reason, my whole life, I felt connected to him. Just because he's not in the physical don't mean I'm not connected to him. And you know what I'm saying? This is a connected universe. But we hear their messages, we communicate through them, through the silence, through the meditation, through the solitude. There's so many distractions in this realm, family. There's so many external, if you don't want to call it distractions, there's just so much stimuli. Meditation is very important, family. And music, like the brother said earlier, will take you directly. It's digital THC. It's psychedelic acoustics. This will take you to that brainwave state that instantly connects you. Because the monkey mind brainwave state ain't going to do it. So you need something. Sometimes the shrooms do it. Sometimes the music do it. Sometimes the DMT do it. The ayahuasca. There's different things that do it. Some things.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna give a recipe as I gave it before. When a woman is healthy, eating good, preferably vegetarian, if she is correctly aroused, Brother Rich, according to Lester Loving, and that's the way I got this source, a woman produces as much DMT as an ayahuasca or a shroom experience.
Yeah, facts.
Just imagine. So you can absorb the DMT using your own imagination, my brothers. And you can also have enhancements with herbs such as Syrian rue. Um, and, we covered that before. But what you're saying, Brother Rich, music, I think music is psychedelic and it can set you in a particular reality for your day-to-day success or your day-to-day stress.
Listen,
what is the mission with this? Huh?
No, that's exactly what it does, my brother. That's exactly what it does.
Yeah. What should people be looking out for with your upcoming album, and what's the projection on the release?
Listen, first of all, I want to thank you. I know we're about to wrap it up. I want to thank you for having me on here, my brother. I have none but an amazing relationship with you, my brother. You've been a great friend. You've been a great mentor. You've been a great brother. You've been like my older brother. You put me on to whatever you could put me on to and told me about whatever technology that you have available. And I definitely appreciate it, and I've done my best to promote you. And I know you benefited from that. So I'm glad that we have been able to help each other. I just want to start off by saying that. But,
same here, brother. Same here.
In terms of the music, like I said, family, I want the people to really, really, really understand that with my music, and I'm not just saying this from an arrogant perspective, but what I'm saying is that because I have a different experience, first of all, the meditation market, all of this is connected. The reason why I say sometimes we got to mention race because it's a part of the mythos. With that being said, my meditation music is different from traditional meditation music because I have such a different, and my people have such a different experience. It's filled with such passion, raw emotion, that it's a little bit more spicy. It's a little bit more spicy. It's a little bit more spicy. It's a little bit more alive. It's a little bit more melodic. I've been through so much more. If you take a rubber band and you pull it, the further back you pull it, the further forward it's going to go. So my rubber band has been, the rubber band of my soul has been pulled so far back from the experience, the dark, well, what they call the darkness that my people have experienced, what they call the sleepy time, the sleepness that my people have experienced, that there's no way to go before it at this point. And my music is a reflection of that. It's different from the traditional meditation music that you guys hear. It's very alive. It's very alive. That's why I said it's not just sleepy time meditation. It's also walking meditation. But what I want to say is that besides that, my meditational music is going to take you places. It's going to take you to galaxies, dimensions that you never imagined. It is psychedelic acoustics. It is, like Hank said, it is digital THC, like Kambata said. And these are two very amazing individuals on the face of this earth. So for them to compliment my music like that means a lot. But this is drugs that can't hurt your body. This is another form of drugs, natural drugs. This is going to help you tap into that frequency it's going to allow you to get away from that monkey mind. Tap into that alpha, that delta, that theta mode that you are in on a regular basis. And once you're in there, it becomes way easier to create reality. Because we got to understand, the subconscious mind controls 99.9% of what goes on around us anyway. We think we're moving. We think our conscious mind wants to think it's in control and it's moving. Nah, that's the subconscious, homie. Our conscious mind is just the experiencer. We just experience reality with our conscious mind. The subconscious controls our heartbeat. It controls our mind. It controls our digestive system. It controls everything. All it's doing is wait on instructions. Our conscious mind.
Brother Rich?
Food. Yeah.
Awesome. Please share with the listeners, those who may not be aware, your channels on social media so that they can stay up on this music that's coming forth. This might be a whole nother, Brother Rich, this might be a whole nother genre that can be
It is.
explored.
I didn't get into that yet. But
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Time
No,
go
go
by
ahead.
so
If you
fast
want to.
when you expect. No. But I gotta get out of here soon anyway. But there's a whole genre of me and Cambada. The brother couldn't make it tonight. Not to create it, but we named. I was listening to Teddy Riley on the Breakfast Club, and Teddy Riley, which is one of the greatest producers of the last century, said that when you create a sound in a musical style, you need to name it. When you name it, people will recognize it, and people will follow it more, and people will understand it more. So he named his style, his genre, New Jack Swing. And to this day, everybody talks about New Jack Swing. What I want to tell the people right now is that me and the brother Cambada is naming a genre of music, medicinal music. It's a genre of music that is specifically aimed toward healing the people. Now, I got hip hop music. Me and Cambada make hip hop music. That's our hip hop. Holy Ghost 1, Holy Ghost 2. That's our hip hop music. But what I'm telling you is that this meditation album and things that me and Cambada got coming down the future, it's medicinal music. There's going to be a website. It's going to be a whole movement. Stay tuned, family. It's not that I'm predicting the future and I'm saying this is going to be amazing. I'm tapping into the future through my present, and I'm laying out. I'm laying it out. I'm creating it. I don't want to say creating. I am translating, or I'm just being receptive to what I'm aware of. But
you are resurrecting.
Yeah, I'm resurrecting. But this is going to be amazing.
Brother.
It's called medicinal music. The genre that we are creating, that we are tapping into, and that we are talking about is called medicinal music. Family, you got something here to heal yourselves. And the more you understand this, the more it's going to help you, family. It's medicinal music. The first project out of medicinal music is my meditational album coming out this February. The first track is called Eternity. You can go to my YouTube page, Black Magic. That's magic spelled with a K. BLACKMAGIK 363. You go to that page, and there's a track called Eternity. You can listen to it. If you don't see it there, you could text me. I'm gonna have a separate phone number for this music thing, and I'm about to get it soon. But Hankh's audience, I'm gonna just give you my number, but it's only to text me. I'm not gonna pick up my phone. You could text me at 646-472-4219 if you want more information about the album. And I'm also going to be doing customized meditation tracks where I take affirmations from your voice. We'll have a phone conversation. I'll record certain aspects of the phone conversation. I will take words from your voice and make a track, a song, tailored to what you want, what you need. That way, It will make it 1,000 times easier to reprogram yourself through your subconscious mind. It's the most revolutionary product out there. Nobody, you have never heard of this. The subconscious mind is everything. And what I'm telling you is I'm going to use your own voice coupled by music to reprogram your life. And all you got to do is text me, 646-472-4219. But in the meantime, I got a meditation album coming out this month, so stay tuned. I want to thank you, my brother, for having me on here. And it's been my first interview in years. So I just want to thank the people for listening. I'm usually asking the questions, but this is like the first time in a long time that I actually answer questions and talk for an extended period of time. It's the side of Brother Rich that people Father Rich, because I'm Father Rich now. I got the magnificent son right now, SUN son, but it's the first time they heard me talk for such a long period of time. So thanks for having me on, my brother.
Thank you, brother. And I want to thank all the listening audience, to all the new mothers, to all the new fathers, to all the bigger kids in the audience. May you strive and thrive as you strive. You know what? Wait a minute. Let me say that right. Go ahead, brother. What else you want to say?
No, I was just gonna say, you know what? I would love to I would love to throw this on my YouTube channel. So I want you to send me the MP3 because I want the people to hear this and I want the people to be aware of what you're doing on Blog Talk Radio. So definitely send me the MP3, whatever it is you got to send me, so I could upload it to my YouTube channel so the people could hear it.
Excellent. Because this is the first time actually I heard you talk so much. But you had a lot to say.
Yeah.
Thank you again. May the force be with you, Brother Rich. May all of us thrive and fulfill the destiny that our ancestors dreamed into our generation.